Hey y'all, welcome to NoToadsBarred. Hey, it has been a while. I don't think I've put out a video on this channel in months. And the reason's kind of simple. I felt like it was turning into another bitching channel. And I didn't want to do that. So, I kind of laid back and thought about it for a while. And, well, with what happened over in San Bernardino, I figured it was time to resurrect this, see if people like it. If so, I'll keep it going. If I don't like it, I'll just quit. But we'll just see what's going on. I watched most of that unfolding. I just happened to be over at a friend's house who has cable, which I don't. And I spent a goodly part of that day in and out watching. And, it's difficult to watch cable news sometimes because they're in competition with all the others. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're watching, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is, you can't forget for a split second that each and every one of them, their job is to get as many people to watch for as long as possible. That's what they do. And when you have something like what happened, the shootings in San Bernardino, and it's happening live, it's going on now, there just usually isn't a whole lot they can report, and every single one of them will fall back on speculation and supposition, all kinds of stuff. So it kind of makes it difficult to watch. In fact, it's part of the reason that when I moved to the new location I'm at now, I just didn't bother with television. I went ahead and I looked into Dish Network, cable, blah, and I was able to get a pretty good internet deal through, just straight up through the air, through a hotspot, quite frankly. And while I'd like to have more data available to me, so far this works. But what I didn't want to do was pay all kinds of money just to have television, which, with the exception of a couple things, I really don't watch. Do I miss being able to watch baseball games or actually listen to, sort of working while I listen to a baseball game? NASCAR races, same thing. Yeah, there's some things I miss, but for the most part, for me, television just became a sewer. And to pay all kinds of money for news, which pretty much was the number one thing that I had it for, I just decided not to. And I went backwards. Some people say backwards. I guess I really shouldn't. I went to radio. I've been listening to news talk or all news stations, and some music, although not that much. And it's been several months now, and I really don't miss it. It doesn't bother me. Obviously, I have DVDs, movies, and things like that in other media, whether it be a DVD or a disc or whatnot. So I'm not part of the Blue Dot Society. For those of you who are old enough to remember when you turned off the old televisions, the screen faded to a little blue dot that took a few seconds to go away. And I remember, I think it was must have been back in the 70s, they actually had the Blue Dot Society, which was people that were just shutting off the television and getting away from it. And I respect that, but nope, sorry, I still do like my reruns of NCIS and watching the occasional movie and whatnot. A little bit of BBC stuff that I can get on disc. But watching the San Bernardino thing unfold, I can't remember if it was Fox or CNN we were watching. It was one of the two. It was amazing after being away from television for a while how I felt the way the programming was put together. There was like little teasers. They would basically say nothing for 6 to 10 minutes, and then they give you the impression something was coming, so you'd stay. And then when you came back, of course, it was anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes of repeating what they'd already said, maybe with some new supposition. Now, I suppose I could go into the whole Islamic terrorism, blah, blah, blah thing. You know, I'm sorry. When I saw it, the facts that came out, including the way the people were geared up, it was painfully obvious it was a planned attack of some sort. I mean, I understand there's some different kinds of people in the world, but to believe that two people just happened to keep the gear that these two people were in possession of when they did the attack, just kind of hanging around waiting to get pissed off over, you know, some incident. You know, I've been at workplace Christmas parties before. Can they be downright stupid? Yeah, they can. But for me to believe that somebody was going to get in an argument, step outside the room, and come back 15 minutes later dressed in web gear, fully armed the way they were, that was kind of a stretch. So for me, pretty much from the outset, you know, I kind of felt it was something that was planned ahead of time. Now, I had no idea, obviously, the extent that it, you know, turned out to be. But it's to me, it's somewhat disgusting that there was a lot of people out there that appeared to be trying their best, whether it be politicians or media, pundits, whatever. They tried to avoid calling it any kind of, shall we say, Islamic terrorism, or having any kind of a motive that could be from a jihadi standpoint, whether it be international, national, homegrown, whatever the case may be. It really seemed to me, flipping through the channels at my friend's house and then listening over the course of the last several days, that most of these people were really standing on their hind legs trying to keep away from that, refusing really even to speculate on it. And they speculated on everything else. It was almost like they were wishing it was anything else. And we had 14 people who lost their lives, and it became some kind of a media orgy to shape the intent, or to at least shield a possible intent. And I just found that kind of disgusting. Now, did it surprise me? No. Did it piss me off? No. I mean, I've definitely come to learn over the years that when the media is deceptive, they're not being evil, they're just being what they are. It's like saying, you know, when a dog pees on your tire, it's not being, it's not committing some act of vandalism, it's just being a dog. And when the media outright lies or shields the truth or channels information either towards or away from a situation they don't like, or they don't want people to think, or maybe they just don't want to be accused of being the first people to say, hey, this looks like it could have been some Islamic terrorist folks. Yeah, to me, they're not being disrespectful, or they're not being deceitful. Yeah, they're just being what the media is today.